Hi, my name is John Royce, and I grew up in a single-parent household. Growing up with just my mom, it had ups and downs. I think most importantly, the thing that you have to remember most is, I try to be there as much as she can, but she worked probably like 60 hours a week minimum, so there's a lot of alone time, a lot of times that you had to really teach yourself things, and, it made you grow up a lot faster than you normally would in a normal household. One of the fonder memories I have with me and my mom was probably our first family vacation. I was about anywhere between 8 or 9. It was the first vacation I've ever been on, and it meant a lot because at that time my mom left her husband, who wasn't my father though. At that time, it was a big transition period. We've never been on vacation, and I remember she paid for everything herself. She did everything, and it was honestly, we went to Disney World, so it was magical. But I still remember how awesome it was. And, as I grew older, I realized how hard that was for her, and how probably monumental that was not only for her, but for us as a family, of me and her, to show that we could still have the nicer things in life, even though growing up we didn't have much money, and it took a lot longer for us to work for things. So that was probably one of my best memories I ever had, actually, with me and my mom. So sports for me, with a single mom, was interesting because she would always encourage me to go into sports, but she couldn't really be there for most of my games. She couldn't really teach me most sports. I had no male father figure to really look up to, so a lot of it was self-teaching, learning from friends' fathers if I could. So it was an interesting time, so I was always behind the 8 ball, definitely a learning curve for me whenever I went into a sport. So sports were really important to me because they gave me a couple of things that I didn't have really. Male father figure like people to look up to, ways to express my physicality, do things that boys do naturally, and really feel accepted by not only my peers but amongst, everyday society. I could play football, do everything a guy does, even with or without a father. So that was important to me, and also I guess, I just really enjoyed sports in general, but it definitely taught me a lot of life lessons that I guess sometimes a boy and his father learn a little bit easier together than maybe with a mom who's working so much as my mom was. Senior year, I remember, that's when the housing crisis hit, the bubble popped. If you ever followed it, that's really when everybody was losing all that money, all their jobs, housing market, all the houses became really worth nothing, and my mom lost her job. She was forced to then eventually take a job out in Virginia. It was my senior year. I was doing really well in wrestling. I was looking to go to some colleges for it. So I stayed, and I lived on my own my senior year, actually, up in New Jersey, while she lived in Virginia. Now, normally, if you had maybe a 2-parent family household, dad could stay behind. Something could have happened. They could have made it work, but, it was just her, and she had to support me all the way from Virginia, and I had to take on another job just to be able to support myself and pay some rent at where we were and pay utilities. So, it's definitely tough. I feel like due to the fact that she was a single mom, we were put in that situation. It wasn't like I wanted to leave or I really could leave, and it taught me a lot. I definitely grew up really, really fast, but it was hard. It was really hard for me because I didn't get to have the normal experience that every other kid had. I had to count my pennies, watch all my dollars, and more importantly, on top of that, I had to make sure that I was doing well, and not just school, but life itself. Just because I had to depend on me and only me at that time, and I know it broke my mom's heart and everything, but she was doing the best she could for not only me but herself. I was the first one actually in my immediate family to go to college. My mom had me at a very young age, so she did go to college, but she did not complete it. I'm the first one to go and complete it, so I'm very proud of that. That's something my mom always wanted for me, and still my mom eventually went back and was able to complete enough courses to get certificates of equivalent, satisfactory if you will, to a bachelor's degree, but I was the first one to go fully through, complete it, do the college lifestyle, the whole thing. So I knew that was a big thing, not only for myself, obviously, but to my mom. That's something that she's always dreamed of for me. And I know in her mind, she feels like she made it because of it. So it's really, empowering not only for me, but for her as well. So I'm very thankful for having that opportunity. I really respect my mom actually quite a bit, just like I'm sure everybody else does, but I feel like me and her have a really special bond. You know, we're always together, it's just me and her forever, so, you know, the amount of respect and love I have for her is pretty top notch, I would say. You know, my mom wore the same shoes for like 5 years every day to work when I was up until I was like 5, just to make sure that she could provide for me. You know, she busted her chomps and really did everything she could for me to give me the best life possible, and I'll never forget that. You know, it instilled a lot of me, a lot of the hard work, the effort, the drive, and everything else that I have that I think helps me become successful as I am now. Is because of her. I wouldn't be anything really without her. So, you know, I love my mom for that, and that's something that, you know, I don't think I would ever want to change if I could. Hi, my name is John Royce. I grew up in a single-parent family household. No sex, no drugs, no money, no love, no something, no. I'm lost.
Thor,
Everyone around
stop
me
it.
is a total stranger. Everyone around me is a total stranger. Everyone. Just start violently shaking and shit. He goes full retard off
like,
camera.
what the fuck are these two talking about?
Tell me when you're
recording
ready for
everything
greatness.
too.
God, foot itches so bad. Hold on. Oh,
That's
that's the
good.
spot right there. Anywho, are you ready? 'Cause I am. I forgot the question. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
Should we give him a red hat?
Currently, I'm a clinical recruiter / method actor. I've